the soul sister. I want to start talking. I want to start with the soul sister. What does it mean?
It's a feeling of being in tune with myself.
Mm.
It's a feeling of embracing my femininity. Soul sisters and soul brothers basically represent African Black people.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
So I think that's because I'm in so much in tune with like my heritage, my history, and just the Black movement in general. It was just only fitting. I love it. I think it's got a nice ring
I
to it as
love it
well.
too.
One time, two time, one time for the soul sister, soul sister. Let me help you grow, sister. Trampoline me to the skies or the clouds as thick as my fro, sister. Grab a hold of my thick locks like Jill on a beanstalk. Baby, scale to the pinnacle and we'll watch as showers of resilience fall gracefully after the thunder's rumble of fierce swimming in unison.
My name is Delah Dube. You were saying it right. I just basically exist. First of all, I like to tell stories. I like to be in communal spaces, have conversations, share ideas. I think that's something that's always been a part of me from like childhood. So yeah, I think expressing yourself is just like something that comes with life.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I want to be able to do that in different ways.
We used to run through the maze fields in our torn underwear. The earth was our home. We planted flowers everywhere. We were children of the wild river, running through banks like bandits in the Midwest. Children who gathered their wits in the cocoa field to weave thatch-roofed hearts. Each placement was intentional. We rooted our family trees in the soil blessed by our ancestors.
So I do music, poetry, theater, film,
Ooh.
trying my hand at creative directing because most of the content that I put out is basically me.
Yeah.
So I think that for me is just like something I'm really passionate about because there's a lot of beauty in art for sure.
Yes.
And at the same time, I'm a student. I go to ALU. International Business and Trade is my course. So I think, yeah, exercising both my left and right brain, so
Yeah.
they say. But essentially just being a free spirit. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. I love that you said you love to tell stories because I love to tell stories as well, which is part of the reason I started my channel to highlight stories of African women, young African women doing amazing things all across Africa. So let's backtrack to your childhood. Where did you grow up first of all? Where are you from? Where did you grow up, and how was growing up for you?
Okay. I guess I can talk about the things that I would like to
Yes,
share.
yes, yes. You can.
Till the mischievous gods fed the ground lava cake. Its belly rumbled as it consumed to an unseeable end, and each gluttonous chunk made its innards tremble.
Basically had a so-called regular childhood. Went to school, did the kind of subjects that my parents wanted me to do, but then also kind of finding myself through that. And I remember starting to enjoy like English literature at like Form 1. I don't know if you guys like call it Form 1 as well.
I think we call it SS1.
SS1.
SS2,
Okay, yeah. Because I remember one time I was going into an English class and my English teacher said, while everybody else was reading like really thin, like volume one pamphlet books, my teacher gave me a book by Sydney Sheldon, and she's like, I think you'd like this, like a 300-page book. I'm just like, okay, why does she think I like this?
Yeah.
But then I was curious enough to flip through the pages, and I really enjoyed it. And I knew from that point I wanted to, dance with language because it became very interesting to me how people could find different ways to say the same thing. And at the same time, you learn a lot about people's culture and a lot about people in general. The more you understand, or the more you are able to express yourself. I feel like it's important to be able to find words to express ourselves at times because a failure to do so sometimes leaves like ambiguity. You don't know how I really feel about something. but also at the same time just being able to communicate in the different spaces that I'd be. So I felt like reading equated me to being like smarter and sharper.
Finding more like vocabulary to express yourself.
Exactly. And just, you know, learning more about the world. So I was like, okay, I started with the passion of reading, and then I'm like, I want to start also creating, like, what would I say if I was this person? So that's like basically the things that I did by myself before influence of anybody or before thinking about like being in a creative industry. It was more about like what I am doing to just fulfill this, you know, curiosity or just like living life in general. I also was surrounded by like-minded people. So I think finding a lot of people who are just creative in general. They've always had like interesting jokes and like words together in a cool way, you know what I'm saying? Good sense of humor. And so we kind of sharpened each other in a way. It was always witty. So I think poetry also that way became like natural to me because I was always trying to be like on top of my game and like things I'd say, you know, listen to a lot of hip hop, listen to a lot of music where there's strong lyrical content. Going through life in a normal way, I just started to pick things that I appreciated about life, and creativity is one of those things, like creative expression, literature, art, music, theater as well. Those are things that I explored solely because I wanted to see what lies beyond the red curtain, you know what I'm saying?
Amazing. So tell me about your first gig or your first job ever.
Oh, okay. Where I actually got paid, or
I think when you got paid, would be an interesting story.
Okay, because I used to perform a lot. I performed a lot in like a church. I performed as well, like in like community plays. I performed in like at school whenever they had like talent shows. I was performing a lot. Like, but then maybe where it was more professional, that came at a point where I was in high school, and
thank you.
I was in high school, and our theater group would perform at school during competition. Talent scouts that would come and or even like organizations maybe that are sponsoring the event, and they want to have like a separate event, and they want to get like these kids to perform. Like I was really proud of how good we were, to the point where like, oh, people see this beyond just a small school play. Like these are kids that are really talented and thinking about real issues, and health empowerment as well, being around these wonderful girls, and you don't even see guys as like someone who could be stronger than you. So that was the beginning of, and even the way we prepared for those gigs was so different from like just being at school. Kind of like had to like, okay, this is a bit more professional, you know, you can like put on some makeup, just like look good. So that was like about the first time I started performing, and since then, different stages of my life, I just kept it going.
And hot thick goo ooze from its openings, cremating everything in its way. Our path to destruction was gruesomely paved. We watched in terror as our flesh reduced to soot, fed by the wind. And now our voices wail. We are airborne, so far we'll go. Choked on the dust, drowned in the flood. We lost our mothers and sons to crime and war. I am airborne.
Still dwelling on like career of poetry and the creative industry. What would you say is like the best and worst part of your career?
My individual career?
Yes, your individual career.
I've never really thought about that. What do you mean the best and worst part?
So what makes you feel like, oh, I really love being like a poet and songwriter, and then are there days when you're like, why am I going through this because I'm a poet and songwriter?
Oh no, not really. Like not so much of the latter. Maybe like I remember, or I'm in tune with why I love what I do. Usually, when I've created something just after creation, and I'm like, oh wow, this sounds really good. Or like, because I know sometimes I'll like write something, and at the time I'm writing it, I think there's like this is the meaning, but then the next time I listen to it, I'm like, oh damn, this is really layered, you know what I'm saying? Like I mean this in different ways. I really like collaborating with other people as well, because you get exposed to such genius in other people too, because you're like, wow, how did you come up with this?
That's
really cool. And getting together. I remember having like jam sessions, something that we usually do.
Yeah.
Jam sessions with other creatives, you
Yeah.
know, some being a part of different communities where people they don't take themselves too seriously. You just go out there, have a good time, and you know it's just always love and good energy. And then like obviously performing, I really do love performing.
Yeah.
I think it's something that I have I've seen like put me in spaces my voice is being heard, and that I feel truly listened to.
Yes.
And when people interact, I try to interact a lot in my performances with people, then I know, oh, we're on the same wavelength. I love getting to travel to different places. That's something that I definitely want to do more of.
So is there something that you wish you could do that currently you can't do? Maybe in terms of like a unique thing that you see people do, or like a talent, or you know, they're like, I really want to do that, but for some reason I can't. For me, dance. You know, I really wish I can dance. I really have to convince myself that I can, but I cannot dance. You know, so do you have something like that?
I think I'd maybe answer this in the sense of there's things that I'm aspiring to do, like learn an instrument. I can't play any instrument.
Okay,
like learn an instrument, or learn how to produce, or learn how to read music, classical sheet music. Yeah,
okay.
that would be cool. Those are things that obviously, like when you're thinking about how intensive this can be from a technical level, I get excited by those prospects. So yeah.
Nice, amazing. Definitely getting this next time I'm here.
Yeah.
But I say the biggest lesson you've learned from your career journey thus far.
I guess the first thing that comes to the top of my head is being consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, and the importance of being like vocal about what you want.
Yeah.
Also understanding that it's not always going to happen when you want it to happen. Right?
Yeah,
Patience.
that's true.
So yeah, I think being in a space like this, or doing what I do, because I'm still finding my footing, I'm still finding my ground. So there's a lot of like inconsistencies in maybe the resources I have access to, or like the things that the places I have access to as well. There's always like there's change in seasons.
Yeah.
So understanding that this season might not be the best as the next one, or the last one. Or even getting to a point where I realize that I need to make sure I'm putting out a consistent amount of quality sound content, so that people can begin to notice me and get to understand me. Because if I do one thing, people will see that and then quickly forget, or quickly assume something. So just to keep on being, out there.
Suspended between the earth and the sky, cause death couldn't tame me, couldn't swallow me, couldn't tame me. And as the scripture said, I am not of this world, I will learn to fly like a cordless kite, glimmering through ebony of black sunlight, float through the boundless sky. I will power windmills, protect you like a windshield, cause I am an airbender.
Okay. Contrary to popular opinion that you have to sweat and hustle and just work your ass off to get the things that you want, I think you don't have to work hard for the things that you want. Things that I believe in the power of attraction. So I think while it is important to take the necessary steps, those steps would feel like a challenge and interesting path to take. That would keep you excited, that would keep you motivated, that would like show you more about life. And you'll meet amazing people along the way as well. I think that's the beauty as well in people, you know, the right people support you, the right people will guide you through. So if it's something that is meant for you,
it will come.
Those things will come. So, and grind for the things that you want, but don't let it suck the life out of you. Like, you don't have to work excessively hard to a point where you
don't have any other.
You don't even have the energy to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, guys, like keep it light, keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh. So keep it fresh.
Cheers to
even though it's empty.
Contort sound waves, mold beauty from ashes. If you ever need to heave, something off your chest you can ventilate through me. I will hear your story and weave it into poetry as I did my own. I am a polychromatic butterfly. I will transcend and never die.
Thank you so much for coming on to Care. This has been a beautiful episode. We have mocktails.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation, and I love this. And thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to come on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know the deal. And thank you for watching. Bye.
Cheers.
Death couldn't tame me, couldn't swallow me, couldn't tame me. And as the scripture said, I am not of this world. I will learn to fly like a cordless kite, glimmering through ebony of black sunlight, float through the boundless sky. I will power windmills, protect you like a windshield, cause I am an airbender who contorts sound waves, molds beauty from ashes. We are airborne, so far we'll roam, choked on the dust, drowned in the flood. We lost our mothers and sons to crime and war.